Hello YouTube, welcome to my second full playthrough on this channel of the great classic Sonic the Hedgehog. I've already done a review on this one, check that one out if you haven't. Although I will be recording this before that review. I just wanted to watch the whole thing together and just comment over it. I'm not commenting live on this one. I do for a lot of my videos, but this one I just wanted to collect all the footage for it. I wanted to do the review first, and then I put it all together, you know, just for the hell of it, and then I was going to edit it down and then do the review. But I thought, well, why not? Why not just do a full playthrough of it at the same time? It'll be the same footage for both this and the review, but the review will just be edited down. But this is the classic Sonic the Hedgehog. This is the game that made me want to have a Sega Genesis. And so far on this channel, I've been very, very hesitant to do any of these well-known games that everybody on Earth loves and everybody on Earth played. I've done a few here and there, but I always got to do it in a very different way from everybody else. And this is what I have to say about Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I can watch a Sonic the Hedgehog playthrough that's voiced. If it's voiced, got commentated on, I can watch anybody play this game. It is just a joy to watch and play all the time. But there is something about the way everybody else seems to play this game online that infuriates me after a while. And you will notice that I went down to where the lowest part I could go, and then I climbed back up. I could have finished the level a long time ago. I went backwards and backtracked because that is the enjoyable way to play this game. Look at the beautiful waterfalls in the background, the parallax scrolling. Every level of this game has so much beauty to behold, and everybody is just zooming past this game because it's Sonic the Hedgehog. Always a blue sphere, and he's just gotta go so goddamn fast. No, he doesn't. This game was never, ever all about speed. Never. It was never designed that way. These 2D Sonic games were never designed to be only about speed, and I guess all the 3D ones are now. That seems to be Sega, and that's Sega's biggest mistake with this fucking Sonic the Hedgehog thing. Once it went to 3D, he's about speed. No, it's not. It's a freaking platforming game. Now a lot of that rage will be better served for my review, I imagine, but that's what's going to be different about this game. The way I play it, the way I am going to do this playthrough is I am going to show you everything I can about this game, because to me that is what's enjoyable about this game, is exploring every nook and cranny. It doesn't take that much talent to zoom past this level. I'm sorry guys, once you've gotten the speed thing done, once you've experienced that part of the game, and I did it too, I know how to fucking beat this game very quickly. Once you've done that, it's not a challenge anymore. It's not a thing you want to do constantly, and I don't understand the people that want to play this game so often, and that's how they want to play it. They just want to play it. It's over, just like that. And you know, frankly speaking, I think if some of these people were to play this game in a different way, in a different area than they normally go to, these people would be slaughtered. This is another one of those games that people, they think is easy. And I remember being a kid and playing this game just like Mario, and just like a lot of games that everybody seems to think is easy these days. You know what? I let a couple, 10-year-olds play this game, and I wasn't even 10. I was like 6 when I first played this game. Younger when I first played Mario, and I've let some younger kids these days play this game, try it out, and they suck. They suck, I'm sorry to say. People often forget the perspective that the reason this game is easy to you now is because you memorized it. But it took a long time to get to that point. It's not an easy game overall. It's not. It's just a fun game, and a lot of the way this game is designed, the first time you play it, you will get your ass kicked. The thing that I don't understand, the thing that just makes me feel sorry for some people, is just you've played this game your entire life, and you've only played it one way. You've never even, there's probably people that just jump up on the top and get through this thing as fast as they can, and they've never gone down to the bottom bits there. You see how I'm going to go into this secret area here. Secret area. This is because I explored, and I knew about all these secret areas as a kid, because that's how how I wanted to play it back then, too. No, slight correction, no. I did want to, like, just speed through it as a kid, but I would get slaughtered. I'd go the same way twice, I'd get killed. So then I was, like, going a little slower, and I'd go down. I'd explore all these other areas I could possibly go to see which one was better. And that's how I found all these little tricks about this stuff. And when you get up there in age and you've been playing a game for so long, I just don't understand why so many people these days will play this game the exact same way they did as a kid, trying to do it as fast as they can, and they think there's something special. You're not. If you don't know about these little areas about the game, you're not something special. And if you're going to do a full playthrough of the game, god damn it, I want to see everything I can. I want to see the game. I don't want to see a game that has so much variety to offer and just go by as fast as possible. And then especially in the later games, once they got supersonic with the Chaos Emeralds, then you get them going even faster and just doing ridiculous things. They'll get all the Chaos Emeralds in level 1 of Sonic 2, and then the rest of the game is just ridiculous to watch. No, I'll never do it like that. This is a different kind of playthrough where I show you everything I can, because this is how I get the enjoyment out of this. I just adore playing this game and seeing everything it has to offer. And the other thing about this game that is unique to this video here is what you are seeing is a CRT television. This is not a damn emulator, and it's not a capture card either. A capture card isn't actually that far off from the look of an emulator. This is actually a CRT, and some people roll their eyes, I'm sure. Not me. This is what it looks like to me. It's not quite as good as it is when I am watching the actual television, but what you see is by far a close representation of what I see on the CRT than anything that an emulator or a capture card could ever give you, and that's what? The waterfalls, the different effects, and they use the CRT to its fullest ability. That is what this video has to offer. These mazes, oh, I always love the mazes. These mazes never get enough respect in my eyes. Again, with Sonic 2, it went into that, we're a racing thing with the Chaos Emeralds, and Sonic 3 was the ball thing or whatever, and this was the best that was ever designed, I believe, because this one offers you a random thing that none of the other ones do. The other ones is just like everything else. Once you memorize it, you're pretty much set to, play it perfectly the rest of your life. This one, no matter what, yes, memorization will help you definitely win these Chaos Emeralds faster, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good you are. There is that random element chance that you will screw this stage up, which makes it the hardest of all the Sonic games ever, and it's beautiful, and I just hate that it doesn't get any respect. I hate overall that this game in particular doesn't get the respect it deserves. Everybody seems to target Sonic 2 as the greatest Sonic game ever, and I love Sonic 2. I do. There's nothing bad about Sonic 2, but this one's better. I swear to God. You gotta give it points for the originality of it, number one. All of the staples that you would see in all the rest of the Sonic games are here in this original game. In the first zone here, you have, the beautiful green foreground, and the background is all water with flowers everywhere. It's just a little paradise. You have the jungle-ish kind of marble zone, and then you have the pinball-ish kind of level. And you have the swimming level. It's gotta be in all of them. You have Robotnick having, the industrial wasteland kind of level, and it's all in this first one, and it set the tone for all the rest to come. This one has the freshness. Constant points for freshness. It beats all the rest. Besides that, the music is just by far more memorable to me. I can, randomly start humming. I'll never, ever forget the music in all of these levels, and they stay with you. Now, Sonic always had great music. In all the games, they have great music, but this one especially, you can't help but remember it for the rest of your life. It is just that damn good. And this game, this is the pinnacle of the series. I love all of them, and I love that Sega actually kept releasing fantastic Sonic games without changing them, too much from the original formula, is originally in the 2D era, versus, Nintendo, where every, single Mario game is very, very different. And then once the next system comes along, forget about everything. And this is another awesome secret area. And look at just the waterfalls. Now, this waterfall effect, you're never going to see it on anything else but a real CRT. It's just nothing like that. And I don't even think you're seeing it quite the way I see it. But emulators, they can't seem to pull off that little water effect there. And even my television, it was really meant for an RF connection. It shows up even better on an RF connection, but I'll be damned if I'm going to use an RF connection when I have the RCA connections. Mario and stuff, Nintendo was always very selective about, where he went, and for good reasons. Sometimes Nintendo still let him go in a lot of crap too, but some things like a Mario 3 on the NES. Mario 3 was just such a fantastic game. It deserved. Why is there not a Mario 4 on the NES? You could say, well, what about Super Mario World? No. Super Mario World on the SNES is a completely different game. It's a great game. Don't get me wrong, but it is not a direct sequel to Mario 3. Mario 3 is good enough to have, a Mario 4, whether or not it was on, the NES hardware or the Super Nintendo. That style deserved, a direct replica. And these boss battles, again, they're so easy nowadays. They were not easy back in the day. I do remember getting killed by Robotnick in these things until I figured out, the Amiga ball thing. Normally, it, flashes on and off, and that's because, I'm going at 30 frames per second, which I prefer 30 frames per second. I will never go to 60 frames per second because you double the file size, you double everything, and you do not double the quality by any means. I don't like it. I'd rather watch HD in 30 frames per second with the crappy internet I have. I'm sorry. I wish people would consider everybody else, in that equation. I don't care. I don't want 60 frames per second game. Here's Marble Zone, which is apparently where everybody starts to hate this game, I guess, because suddenly you take Sonic, the very first game, suddenly everything's about speed because of the first level of the game. Suddenly now we have platforming, even though it was in the first level too. Suddenly we gotta go slow, and that's what makes Sonic 1 so terrible compared to all the rest. No, this is what makes it great variety. This is how Sonic is to me. This is how I first played it. Why would I think it should be any different than how it is in the first game? It should not be about speed. Why would anybody have any reason to believe that? Based on this game, this is, it's just, not only is it about speed and platforming, look at this puzzle element, and I remember getting stuck on this area as a kid, because I'm only 5 years old. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. I realized that I could, stand on a thing, but once I jumped off of it, the thing went down again. It took me a little while to figure that little tiny puzzle out, but, I figured it out. And I remember being very proud of my 6-year-old self when I figured that out. It threw in a tiny bit of puzzle element in there too. This game, this is a great zone, and the music too. This is another memorable track that you can't get out of your head. I don't think there are too many people that hate this game by any means, but there is an obvious lack of people who think this one is the best. And I do believe, this one is the best. Now, oftentimes a game could better itself in a sequel as compared to a movie, where usually the original is by far the better. But I just don't understand why more people, don't prefer the original Sonic game. And guess what? This is now 25 years old. Sonic is now 25 years old, everybody. I had no idea about that when I made the video. I mean, generally I knew, but I didn't know his birthday just passed, I guess. Happy birthday, Sonic! It's a shame what Sega has done to you of late. But you will always be remembered for your fantastic heroic deeds in the early to mid 1990s. Look at those little cute angelfish in the background. I love these things. This one's a really hard maze to just, put you in the middle of nowhere, where the emerald is in the middle, and it's very hard to get to it, and it's very easy to slip off and go into the exit area. So yeah, I'm doing pretty damn good with the Chaos Emerald so far, although it's not going to get you anywhere. There is no Supersonic in this game, thank God. I'm tired of Supersonic. Tired of his, god abilities there. I just want to play the game, as fresh as I could, because when I was a kid, I could not get all of those Chaos Emeralds, because those maze areas were too damn hard. It took me, I definitely beat this game multiple times before I was able to get all the Chaos Emeralds, and I had to see fucking fat-ass Robotnick, jump on, juggle those emeralds that I hadn't got yet, and I was always pissed. And I had to get to the point where I could get all the Chaos Emeralds. That was another, gave me a little replayability there. And I do say, Robotnick, guys, I refuse to call that little big man Eggman. Fuck that. I don't care about what the hell it was called in Japan. In America, the damn thing, he was called Dr. Robotnick, period. That's what he's called here. And I don't, fine. If they want to change his name for the newer games, fine. But he is Dr. Evo Robotnick, whatever the hell it is, in this game, in America. So, please stop calling him Eggman in this game when you're playing this game, because he's not Eggman in this game unless you are Japanese, and that's how you remember it. In that case, go ahead. But if you are American and you're calling him Eggman, screw you. I don't understand the need of these weird people to, correct people on that kind of stuff. As if Eggman is like this, beloved classic, name or something. He's named after the shape of himself. He's shaped like an egg. He's Eggman. You think that's a great name? It's a terrible name. Dr. Robotnick, at least there's a little cleverness. Overall, yeah, it's obvious, but there's a little cleverness into it. He makes all these robots. He's Robotnick. It's a lot more clever than the shape of his damn body. If you play this game, you're gonna see right in the manual, he's Robotnick. That's his name. That changing of the name thing, because, somebody thinks it's a very arrogant kind of attitude to it, because, that's how it was in Japan. That's how it really is, so you must call him retroactively. No! Apparently, playing all these games, these old, terrible games, according to some people, you can't get out of the past or whatever, that's all just retro, nostalgia kind of thing. Well, then, damn it, embrace it, own it, if that's what it is. He's Robotnick back in, 1991 in America. That's his name. So please, call him Robotnick, because that's how everybody knew him. That is the right name to give him at that point in time. Another thing I love about the original Sonic the Hedgehog is the 3-act structure. I adore all of these levels, and frankly, there's a lot of levels in Sonic 2 and 3 that I adore, and I was never happy with the 2-act structure of the later games, and I realized they made the levels a lot longer, so maybe you made it up in that area, but no, I don't agree. I really adore these 3 acts, where the first 2 acts, that's about, being very careful, because you got to get into those rings, and that's how you got the Chaos Emeralds in this game, is jumping through these giant hoops right there, and then going and getting the Chaos Emeralds. So you only had a certain, limited amount of chances of getting those Chaos Emeralds, which made it very, very difficult. Compared to the rest in Sonic 2, you can pretty much just, grab them in the very first stage. You can pretty much get all of them in the first stage and become Supersonic, which is ridiculously OP. And this one, it doesn't matter how great you are, even if there was a Supersonic in this one, which there's not, you will simply, you're not gonna get them all until a certain point. I think it's right before the water world, so it's probably in the spring area. You're gonna be at least in the spring area before you can get all of them. So, you know, that is a limiting factor. That is nice to me. So the first 2 acts, you know, you're concerned about getting those 50 rings if you want, you know, to, you know, get that happy ending. And in the next, you know, 3rd act, well, there's no ring in that one, so you're not concerned. You can, you know, blaze through it if you so choose. And it's just about kicking Robotnick's ass. That's all Stage 3 is about, is getting to the end to kick Robotnick's ass in that area. And I really like the 3-act structure, because all of these acts, they deserve 3 acts because they're great. And I always hate the 1 act in Sonic 2 that has 3 acts is the worst stage in the game, which is traditionally true. It's not because, you know, it's just a terrible stage. It's just because, you know, it's the end of the game, and, you know, that's the way they're designing it, is the you know, mechanical Robotnick area in Sonic 2. That's the one area of the game that has 3 acts. It's the one area I just don't understand why. I think it's because they originally had, you know, that layout planned for a different completely looking level, and they just saved the layout and gave it the same background just to, you know, save the level design, I guess, add another level. There's a lot of levels cut from Sonic 2, including the beautiful Hidden Palace Zone. That can be the subject of another video. Here we are. I don't like to talk about game mechanics for a game like Sonic the Hedgehog, because I'm serious. If you are a gamer and you do not understand these mechanics, you're not going to learn them from me, and I just cannot. There's just far too many people trying to explain game mechanics to Sonic the Hedgehog, like a game that if you don't know, then I'm sorry, you've lost a little respect for me. I understand. You know, everybody's got to start somewhere, okay? If you're a certain age, if you're young, then maybe you don't understand the mechanics of Sonic the Hedgehog, but what I'm saying is, you can figure it out. There are far too many videos explaining the game mechanics of Sonic the Hedgehog. So, I'm telling you, there just should be a lot less of them. It should be a little chore. You should have to search game mechanics, Sonic the Hedgehog. How do I play Sonic the Hedgehog? If that's what you need to know, then you gotta go find it. It shouldn't be an included thing in all of these damn playthroughs, and I guess it's just from people that don't have anything really to talk about, so why not talk about game mechanics and waste a couple minutes on that? But I don't get it. But there is one thing I will mention, because it's different in this game, and I even run across, you know, some Sonic fans apparently that don't understand that particular difference. As I use this is another reason why Sonic is, I guess, it's an easy game, and people don't realize how hard it is actually, in that you have that constant invulnerability. Pretty much, if you have one ring on you and you get hit and you can manage to grab that ring again, you have just invulnerability practically. Versus, imagine if this were Mario and you had Big Mario and you get hit, you become Little Mario, the next hit, you're dead. Imagine if that was Sonic the Hedgehog and how much harder Sonic the Hedgehog would be. But the overall level design is quite hard, but you have, you know, those rings. But that mechanic I wanted to discuss just a tiny bit was the mechanic of the spin dash, or the super spin dash. In Sonic the Hedgehog 1, there is no super spin dash. There's no, you know, pressing down on the button and hitting a button and then, you know, instantly revving up, you know, from 0 to 60, you know, in a second flat, you know. That mechanic is not in this game, and I adore it for that. Now, in order to do a spin dash, you gotta run, you gotta get some momentum, and then you gotta press down, and then he spins into them, like right there, as you see. You can't just, you know, press down and do it. And it's, in some areas, like, you know, there are areas of Sonic 2 and 3 and stuff where that spin dash is actually, you know, a game design. It's, you know, made areas where, you know, using that super spin dash, you know, that was the intent, or otherwise you're not going to get past that certain area. Okay, so I can give it a pass for that, but I can't. It's hard for me to like the super spin dash when I think about this game, and it just made everything so much easier, and it would get just so much worse with time. Now I think the one that actually introduced the auto, like, homing kind of thing, where you just jump and then you press a button and then Sonic just instantly gravitates to the next enemy and just kills it no matter what, which literally took out all skill that was ever in a Sonic game. That was actually in a Genesis game. I think that was Sonic 3D Blast where that was introduced, but now it is in every single 3D Sonic game, and it's a game-breaking mechanic, and it's never left, and it's terribly indicative of what gaming has become. It's terrible that nobody can play Sonic the Hedgehog anymore without using a homing attack. God, like, how talentless are you that you need to just jump up and then instantly attack? That's a cheat. That is a cheat. That is, you know, what people hook up games to so they can auto fire. Just no matter what terrible aim they have, they just automatically hit the guy or whatever. That is a cheat, and it's built into all these Sonic games nowadays. That's kind of like the spin dash with me. It's like, I just really like this original game and that it did not have it. And some people have put it in, and that's terrible. Like, some people, they don't even have a clue that it was never in this because they're not that familiar with the series. It's not in this game, and thank God it's not. It's just not that I really hate the Super Spin Dash, but I'm just glad that this game here exists and that it's not in it. I'm just glad. Random phone calls. That's another boss fight, you know, that I liked. I'm not exactly being 100% perfect in some of these areas because I just want to show some of these areas, you know, how I saw them a little bit as a kid. Because some of these areas, some of these Robotnick fights, it's possible to get in a rhythm right at the start to where, you know, you never even see half of his moves. It's another thing, I try to show all the moves if I can help it, you know, but, you know, and sometimes that caused me to screw up a tiny bit to where I would have normally. This one I genuinely forgot, though. It's like, how I knew that area was up there. But I'm like, how do I get up there? I keep thinking too far into it. Thinking, okay, you got to get enough speed, and then you got to jump. You got to jump over like that, and that's not it. I was thinking too much. All you got to do is just let him go up. Let him go up, and then curve to the left a little. No jumping. So there's that little secret area. That's how well I know these games. That's how much I played these games. Another area with the great music and the pinball physics. I like Sonic pinball too. Like, Sonic was made for pinball, really. It's a lot of people like the Sonic 2 area more because it's a casino area. It's got the pinballs, but it's a casino, and I actually like that one a lot too. But I really like this one. And there's like the first little I guess, I don't know. He's got a specific weird name in the manual too, but I've always referred to him as a Metal Sonic area. That was what I imagine Robotnick was his first attempt at getting, you know, Metal Sonic or whatever. And Metal Sonic, apparently, there's only one Metal Sonic actually, and he's in, I guess, the second Sonic game. But there's also a metal-ish kind of Sonic in Sonic 3, but he's got an actual technical different name. Whatever. I guess I should honor the name because I just went on about Robotnick, but you know, to me, Robotnick was, you know, big typeface or whatever. You saw that, you knew who Robotnick was, and he was also Robotnick in a cartoon series, which, you know, I watched that Sonic cartoon quite a bit. There was two Sonic cartoons. There was a more fluffy, nicer kind of version, and a darker, kind of more gritty kind of version. I liked both of them, but I actually liked the lighter one a little more with Urkel. Urkel was Sonic. Oh god, I didn't know that at the time that Urkel was Sonic. I recently went back and watched a couple of those. I was like, oh my god, that's Urkel! Oh, how could I like this? But he was Robotnick there, so there's another reason. Really like this choice of color palette, as the mountains in the background are just this gorgeous purple, and the clouds are a little lighter purple. This is the Sega Genesis at its graphical best. And this is another reason, actually, that I like Sonic 1 more than the other Sonic games. After this one, they tried to better the graphics a little bit. Now, you couldn't really better the system was already, kind of old by the time Sonic the Hedgehog, came about in 1991. The system's already from 1989. It's not exactly fresh. So, how much more can you do with the system itself in terms of graphics? All you can do really is exploit it. Get little tricks and hacks and stuff. That's all you can do to make it look much better. And how they managed to make, technically speaking, Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 especially, Sonic 3 especially, and Sonic CD and all these things, how they managed to make them look so good and just it blows your mind when you look at them. They use heavily use the art of dithering, which is every other color is like a flat color, and you got the main color, and the next color is just a gray or a black or something. It's heavily off rather than slowly, just using a gradient of colors of a purple or something. They would have, they'd have a purple and then a gray or something, and it gives you the effect, the illusion of having more colors when you do dithering right. But it's not a true fact, and especially on emulators, you can see the Sega Genesis when it starts using a lot of dithering, and it kind of looks ugly, really ugly on the emulators. But it was meant. It's another kind of CRT kind of trick. When you see it on the CRT, it really does give you the illusion of a lot more colors, which is great. But even on a CRT, though, you do realize, I knew when I played Sonic 3 how much different. There was something oddly different, weathered, aged about Sonic 3 versus this original Sonic game, which is just so vivid, it is so bright, and it's simply because every color you see is just the solid color. They're just using whatever amount of colors the Sega Genesis can handle, and they're using a lot of, flipping of the colors too. Going, okay, that block was purple, now it's green. They cycle the colors a lot. But every color you see is a genuine, it's a genuine yellow, it's a genuine blue. Versus in Sonic 2 and 3, there's more dithering involved. So you can get the illusion of, there's hundreds and hundreds of colors there rather than, maybe only 60-something colors there. But the 60 colors that are there are just bright, beautiful, and vivid. And to me, these, when you look at the marble areas of the background of this stage, those peach colors and stuff, they're all solid, they're all gorgeous. When you look at the trees in the background, they're just a couple solid colors of green. The buildings in the background, they're black, a couple purple windows, and the sky, it's just a couple shades of purple, but it comes off as just so vivid and beautiful. And I really like when games just were simple like that. And Sonic, I agree that Sonic 3 is a better looking game than this, but at the same time, I don't. There's just the dithering really has an effect on, in a certain way. Sometimes it can look better. On the first zone of Sonic 3, you have, at one point, I think as soon as the second act starts, everything becomes on fire. And that is really you want that aged kind of dithering effect in Sonic 3 there, because it just really adds to the overall atmosphere. But I will always adore these simple games. It's just simple, bright, honest colors, and they're not trying to trick you. And I do feel like this game looks better overall than some of the later games, just because of that brightness. It's just vivid. I like it. I really like this original Sonic game. I wish more people not that everyone's opinion is different. That's okay. I just wish there were a couple more people out there that shared my opinion that this one was the height. It's not like it was okay, it came crashing down after this by any means. No, the rest of them are great. It's just this one, I wish there was more love for this particular one. I really like it. And it makes me feel bad because I used to love Sonic. Sonic 2 used to be my favorite too for a long time. I think as soon as Sonic 3 came out, though, I did kind of like Sonic 3 for a little, and then but that changed too. And in retrospect, it was Sonic 2. I was like, yeah, Sonic 3 just became a little too complicated and crap. But I did start to like Sonic 2 a little more for a while. But then I started watching videos and just how everybody just drooled over Sonic 2. And then I started to notice a lot of Sonic 2's faults. And yeah, it's a thing, sometimes you want to be different than everybody else. It's like when somebody keeps saying the same thing, you don't want to, you start looking at things differently. And then I started playing Sonic more, and the first one, I'd go back on the real Sega Genesis and I'd play him again, and I'm like, you know what? No, this is the one I enjoy playing the most to this day. This one, I just love Sonic. Which wasn't an easy thing to do. I came from the NES background, also the Amiga background, a very strange background in America, but I came from an NES and an Amiga, and oh yeah, that area, I always forget about that area. You can jump at the right second, and there's a second goal up above, which I haven't seen in years. I've seen other people, play through and do it, and I always forget at the last second. Sometimes I think about just sitting there until time runs out at 10 minutes. Just so I can get another chance of remembering exactly when, and I always forget it. And I was thinking ahead of time before I went to that area, but it just comes up on you, so quickly, and then before you know it, you don't got that chance. And I don't know, I think it's not like there's anything very special up there. I think there might be a couple more, coins or something, but just that the fact that even that's an area I know about, and I did reach it a couple times as a kid, but that's also an area that's hard to remember to go to, so that's one that you miss a lot. So I wish I would have seen that, but I didn't. Liking Sonic as much as I did, when I loved Mario before this, it had to be something pretty special, and it was. Like, I remember, my friend, go over to my friend's house, and she had a Sega Genesis, and it was before Sonic the Hedgehog. I remember playing Alex the Kid on it, and Moonwalker, and several other original games. This was long before Sonic the Hedgehog, and I had the NES, I had the Amiga. I had no interest, really. I liked playing the Sega Genesis every time I came over there, but it's not like I was going, I want this machine. I just thought it was a cool game console. As a lot of things were. I didn't want one until she got Sonic the Hedgehog, and then I was like, oh my god. I played Sonic the Hedgehog, and I had to get this game. I had to get the Sega Genesis. I don't think the Super Nintendo, was quite out, just yet, but it's not like I had my fill of the NES either, but I had to get Sonic the Hedgehog is what made me want to get a Sega Genesis and abandon, because, it was one or the other. You weren't getting both a Super Nintendo and a Sega Genesis. You also had, because we also had the Amiga and stuff, I already had two 16-bit systems. So, I had to pick, which one, and, oh, sorry Mario, I love you, but, Sonic is different. Sonic, definitely has a lot of Mario into its thinking. This is Sega trying to outdo Mario, and you know what? Wow. Sega, you did it. This, in my child's eye, as a kid loving Mario, this was what it was about. Absolutely. I was all about Sonic the Hedgehog. And you know what? Yeah, he's got the attitude and all that crap, and that's what it says in the manual. It's not like we didn't see him, and he definitely had attitude in the cartoons and stuff, but this is what we saw first. It's just the way he looked and the way he was designed, and the way when you don't move, he starts tapping his foot and stuff. That is this character, and it's just a great character. And he really made a lot of people go from being Nintendo people to being Sega people. He's such an iconic, wonderful character. It's sad. It's quite sad that Sega has done what it's done to this beloved character. I was really excited when, Sonic 4 was announced. I thought, yeah, some modern graphic, modern style, and that old school gameplay, that would be fantastic. But of course, Sega, fucked it up. And then, I'm sure they would have made some more, but of course, Sega fucked it up enough that people said, you know what, fuck it, I'm not going to buy it. And then Sega used that as an excuse to say, well, I guess people aren't interested in 2D Sonic, despite Nintendo having a bunch of, finally coming off their ass, too. Mario always Mario made the leap to 3D very, very well versus Sonic. You know, Sonic sucked when he came to 3D. You know, but, you know, Mario made the leap just fine, so Nintendo really didn't have any reason to say, oh, maybe we should try something different. You know, which, that is so sad to me that Nintendo just utterly abandoned. I don't give a crap if your system, you know, was 3D. You know, that's the thing that really sucks about the Nintendo 64 is that, you know, that's all it had, you know. It's all about 3D now, and some of those 3D games, they sucked, and I really adored, you know, the PlayStation, which, you know, yeah, there were some 3D games on it, but you know what? You know, they tried some 2D games too, and that is what, you know, that's what stands out in the PlayStation area, was those 2D games looking so great. You know what, it's sad that Nintendo didn't come off their ass sooner and say, you know, yeah, these games are good. Why don't we make a couple more of them every once in a while? And that's what Sega should have done, because Sonic, honestly, you know, obviously it isn't about speed, guys, because if it's all about speed, if that's all that Sonic is, then why the hell isn't he successful? You know, you could just make a freaking racing game, a go-kart game, and there you go. There's Sonic. You know, that's all you gotta do. And they can't do it, because it's not about being fast, is it? No, it's not. And that's pretty much all 3D Sonic games, just have him on this race track in a very linear environment, which that's not what Sonic is about. It's about being, it's very non-linear for a platforming game. There are so many areas that you can sneak into and stuff. There are ways, you don't have to do it as fast as you can. You can sneak around a little. And that's what Sonic is about, Sega. Even Sega themselves didn't get it. They didn't fucking understand it. And here it is, Labyrinth Zone. And this is the... I love this. This is one of my favorite ones, guys. I'm torn between whether this zone is my favorite or whether it is Stardust Zone. But I think it's probably the Space Zone. But this one's actually number 2, guys. Very exotic music that is very catchy to me. And the breathing mechanic, I love this. Like, this is the bane of apparently all Sonic fans' existence. Oh, I can't believe they have all these water levels, you know. They think this is what should be taken out of the game or whatever. Just make it faster and no water levels or something. This is what made the damn game so damn unique. I love water levels. I love any levels that break up the monotony of something. You know, they make it different. Thank God something is different. Oh, my first death. Unavoidable accidental death right there. Oh, that's too bad. Oh, well. No death run. Not on this one. But, you know, I don't care. Like, yeah, obviously, well, even I seem to have a little tiny difficulty with this area. It's still one of the best fucking areas of the entire game. The concept is great, you know, and the look of it is awesome. I love the water effects. I love the mechanic. I love being all, you know, that sound of him, you know, breathing from the bubble. It's adorable. You know, and there's definitely frustration on my part from this game's water levels, you know, remembering them back as a kid, and you can still, you know, mess them up to this day. You can drown occasionally. I don't think I've ever... It's not often that I drown in these original 3 acts of water level, but I will drown in that, you know, final act sometimes. That final, you know, Robotnick, you know, they just recolored it and made it purple for one of the final levels. I will drown because the bubbles behave differently. But these ones, it's like, how can you hate this area? You know, it's not like you don't have enough bubbles. The bubbles are everywhere and they come out plentiful. It's not like you should have much of a problem with, you know, drowning. You know, well, they hate it because it's so damn slow. It's so slow, as if we're not used to platforming by this point in this game. Half of this game has been platforming more than half of this game has been platforming levels at this point. There's been not that much speed, actually, just other than the first 3 zones. I don't think we've seen very much speed in this game. But there's been bursts of it here and there, and you know, that's what, you know, that can fuel you for the next time you see it. We're going to, it's like a concert, guys. You gotta reel them in, you gotta start them off strong, you gotta bring them down real quick, and then, you know, you're building to something, and this is where it comes to a, you know, this is where the heart starts pounding, because this really is, like, you can die very quickly in this zone if you screw up. So this is where the heart starts pounding, action gets really slow, you know, so you can get to that StarLight zone, which is much faster. Think of it like, you know, a rock concert, you know, we're pulling in you in all directions, or, you know, roller coaster, you know, we're going through some cool different things, and this is my favorite, probably my favorite water level. It definitely beats all the water levels in Sonic 2. Now, there's actually quite a bit of water levels in Sonic 2, but, and the thing everybody seems to think that's okay about Sonic 2, the reason they like Sonic 2's water levels is if you know what you're doing in Sonic 2, you could avoid pretty much all of the underwater sections of the water levels. You can always go above them, whereas this one forces you. This forces you to be in water. I actually like a lot of the Sonic 3 water levels too. I think Sonic 3 had pretty much water in almost every single area. Sonic and Knuckles, you know, in comparison, when you locked it on, Sonic and Knuckles had 0 water levels, which I was really pissed about when I played Sonic and Knuckles. But Sonic 3 had a lot of them, and maybe some of those I like them more, but again, there's ways in Sonic 3 to get out of a lot of those situations, whereas this one forces you in it, and I adore it for that. And I will not give Sonic 2 any points for being able to ride above all that stuff. Screw that. This is a water level. You need to get in the fucking water. You need to wet your damn boots. I don't. That's something I never understood about gamers from, you know, the 16-bit era. They all seem to hate water levels. It seems to be a constant bitch about everybody has another freaking water level. Everybody has. No, God, why? Please, if you are one of the few people that seem to appreciate, you know, differences, and it's not all the same thing, what else would they have done? Okay, yeah, there's one water area in the game, like, what else? What else did you want in, you know, comparison to that? You know, this is a change of scenery, and it's beautiful. Beautiful area, beautiful effects. What else could you want? What else are you preferring? Just because the mechanics change all of a sudden, you know, well, if you're a good gamer, then you should be able to adjust your mechanics. Sonic got them all, yes. Only 6 of them in this original game, but it doesn't do anything, and I'm glad. I'm glad there is no Super Sonic, because to this day, like, I accidentally make Sonic 2 go off all the time, and I do not want to use Super Sonic anymore. He's too OP, and it's just not how I remember playing it as a kid, because it took a long time to get those emeralds, a long time to learn that, and no, I'm done. I've had enough of Super Sonic, and I'm glad this original game does not feature him, and I don't have to worry about that accidentally switching on. Not that I didn't have a lot of fun with Super Sonic as a child, but it's just one of those things. It's like the speed thing. It's like everybody that hates this game because it's not fast enough. These people that want to play Sonic and just be super, super fast all of the time, and they just don't want to explore and experience anything this game has to offer. It's the same thing with Super Sonic. It's just like, I did that thing. I've done it. What's the next thing? What else can I do now? And I experienced Super Sonic. I adored Super Sonic when I got it. I experienced many glitches with Super Sonic. I had a lot of fun. Getting him as soon as I could, and then seeing what kind of damage I could do. But you know what? I've grown up. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't understand. It's just too damn easy. And games, I already memorized it enough. Alright, it's already too easy. Why would I want to make it even easier? I don't personally want to do that. So the people that play these games to get the emeralds as fast as possible, so they can become Super Sonic, you know, it just reminds me of the people that rush through. It's like every video you see of Sonic the Hedgehog, it's just gonna be, they will have that one thing in common. They're gonna speed through the level, try to get it under a minute, and then, you know, they're gonna try to get all the emeralds, and then get even faster, and just, you know, glitch the game out. It's just not me. This eventually, I just don't understand why more people don't get to this point. Why don't you want to see everything? Explore. At least a couple people. Like, I swear I don't ever see anybody explore this game, and there's a lot of things to explore, and just take your time. Slow the fuck down. It's okay. It's okay. It's still a fast game, okay? It's okay. You can like the water level. I give you permission to like the water levels. Don't just be like everybody else. If you can play this and find enjoyment in the water levels, don't you dare be like everybody else and just say it just because everybody else says it, okay? But if you are one of those few people, please, comment on it. I'd love to hear why and your opinions of these water levels and why you like them like I do, that would be just great. It'd be great to see a couple like-minded people in that area, because I can't stand the hate that comes from these water levels in Sonic games. They are absolutely, they have a place here. This area is funny because if you go to the right enough and then you come back to the left, you will glitch the game out. You will not be able to go any further. You will be stuck on that screen. The X sign will not appear, and you're just there. You're just there until, time, does you the grace of killing you, and you can go back. And that's a glitch that I found back in the day. I think I was just trying to go back, look for something or search for, I don't know what I was doing, but I think the weird thing is in that area you can actually get like a bonus area. You can get a bonus thing, you get like you're jumping and you get one of those bonus points like you do at the end of the stage. For some reason I think they must have had the act at that point a little further back before. And if you jump in a certain way, you're going to hit it. And that makes you want to go back and look for more. But if you go back too far, you glitch the game out. And here's the biggest, probably the biggest memory of this game for me, is this waterfall. And I went down a little more than I normally do. But I actually had a little difficulty figuring it out. Because again, I'm pressing buttons and jumping at the same time when all you're supposed to do is just press the jump button. I shit you not, as a child when I first played this, several times, like maybe 3 times in a row, I hit the 10-minute time limit on that waterfall because I just couldn't figure out what the hell to do. I was jumping and stuff, but I couldn't get to those areas. I couldn't time it right. I couldn't figure it out. Yeah, shit you not. That's another little puzzle area. Another nice little puzzle area. Not just a puzzle area, a memory. A memory. A memory that is just not there with any other game because, they, dumped it down just a tiny bit. And that's the thing about, I hope everybody has enjoyed the, playthrough thus far because of, the memory aspect of it, which is, that's the point. That's the point of all my videos, really, is the memories of the things, that I played if I played them before, the new memories I'm creating of them. This Gaming Memories and Review is the main title of the main series there. But even this playthrough, this full playthrough is going to have memories, and I don't believe enough people are talking about the memories of this game. There are so many memories. This is my first Sega Genesis game. Not the first one I ever played, but the first one, because I got the Sega Genesis for Christmas. I believe Christmas of 1991. Now, wouldn't it be nice when people, when it's Christmas time, if people, instead of reviewing terrible Christmas games, they'd actually review games that they received for Christmas, because that was the time when most of us got most of our games for Christmas. It's like a time of great memories for gaming, and yet a lot of people just want to play terrible Christmas games. Why would you want to do that? There's so many memories from Christmas that you could share, and I definitely remember tearing open that box the second I saw that it was a Genesis. Oh, I wish I still had the box, but then I saw it was the Genesis. Oh yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the frickin' Hedgehog. And not too far after that, several months later, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, brand new. Still great. In this area, there's another memory, just incredible memory, and everybody hates this memory, but I Yeah, it took me forever. I died so many times. So many continues. So many... This was oftentimes, for a great period of my life, this is where the game ended. Because I lost all my lives and I lost all my continues on this water stage because of that bastard there. And you know what? I've actually beaten him. I've actually figured out how to beat the bastard a couple times. I haven't done it in a long time, but it is indeed possible to defeat Robotnick before you get to the top there. I've done it a few times, actually. It's very important when to attack him a few times the correct way at the very, very start in order to have that chance. But I've done it. I kind of wish I would have shown that area a little differently. Like, I wish I would have been in the water for that section, you know, just to show you guys that it can be done in the water too. And I stayed on the top pretty much for the whole damn thing. I wish I would have gone in the water for that, but I'm just too damn good now. I forgot how. But no, here it is. Yeah, this is probably my favorite zone, and unfortunately, I played this one a little different. Yeah, I played this one a little differently. I wanted to show you guys some areas that even I don't normally go to anymore. Some of those areas, because this is another one of those areas, you know, you go to the top of the zone and you're pretty much set. And actually, in all honesty, the top of the zone is more entertaining too. It's a better atmosphere going towards the top. But I decided, it's because it's been a long time since I've done it, to go more towards the bottom area, and that's why I died right there. I was like, oh, sudden death, instant death. And I remember, I was always curious about that little one up there. I was like, how is that, like a tease? How am I supposed to get that one up? But that's another one, you know, I figured out as a kid, you just go backwards. I always loved the music to this one. Oh, I hate those guys. I hate those green bastards. There is a way, if you, angle it just perfectly to get them without getting hit. But those ones that do not throw, ooh, I hate them. Doesn't make any sense. Why are they here? Why are they just, in the star area, man? Those things made some sense in the water, but out here, didn't make as much sense. But this is definitely, this is still my favorite level. I do love the water level, but this one was my favorite back then. This one is still my favorite. I just love the cityscape. Just love the city. It's been a long time since I've seen some of these buildings in the bottom here. Usually stick to the top stars, but this one just, and the just such a joyful little soundtrack there for this one. It was really the last joyful part of the game, really, because after this, it's all about Robotnick. So enjoy it while it lasts. I think Act 2 goes by just way too fast if you go a certain path, which is unfortunate. But the overall, this is a fun, and I always love stars. I'm a big fan of space games, space everything, and just another change of scenery. I just appreciate the different changes that Sonic always gives you, and I wish everybody else would appreciate some of their changes a little more, like water levels. Nudge, nudge, everybody. If you watch my review for this, I'm going to have a lot of little extras, like showing some of the manual and the game box and things. I always put in those little extras in my reviews. This channel, it's all about reviews. The only other game I played thus far in a full playthrough has been the Amiga game Discovery, just because it's just a unique, fun game that I could get through quickly. And that's the thing, I'm never gonna play a game that is very intricate and requires, hours and hours of time to sink into. I'm never gonna play that in a playthrough. I will review those, which nobody else does, unfortunately. And they need to be reviewed. These games need to be, spoken of. These longer games that you need saves for and stuff. They need to be, they need to have an eye on them. And versus a Sonic. Sonic has, this playthrough doesn't need to exist because plenty of people have done this. It's not the first time you're going to see Sonic, but at least I'm doing it in a unique way. But I could do it, it's still an hour long, but it's not terrible. I have released hour-long videos previously, so that's okay. That's okay for me. This is one of those levels that's always ended too fast for me. It's minute 11. You can finish these levels way quicker than that. Like some of these levels you can do well under a minute, and that's where you get the big big points. In fact, I'm going to be curious to see where my score stacks up against some of the people that, you know, don't even care about, like, maybe the emeralds or whatever, and they're just trying to get through as fast as possible, because it seems like most of the points are awarded after you've beaten the level and you're under like a minute, and it's like the points keep racking up as opposed to how many coins you have or something. You know, it just really seems to be dependent on how fast you go. So that's too bad for me, possibly. But I'm curious. I'm curious to see how much different it'll be. I normally don't care about scores. Even about Sonic, I don't care about scores anymore. But this was like the only game, because it gave you room in the manual to actually write. At the end of the manual, you could write down your top scores, which I think several top scores I would write down, and, you know, when I got a game over and crap. You know, that's, you know, because that was the era before you even learned how to play it the whole way. But I wrote down quite a few of them, not all. And eventually I beat the game and I stopped caring about that too. But it's curious to me, because I've never, ever been concerned with high scores, because honestly the game's never fucking saved them. I wish they all would have come with a battery backup or a flash supply of some sort that would have saved, you know, those scores. You know, otherwise, how is it a measuring factor? How is it a measuring factor if the first time you turn off a damn game, the score is gone? You know, it always made even less sense in a game like Sonic versus like an arcade game. Like arcade games, you know, you pump in the quarters or whatever. A lot of them didn't even have an ending of any sort. You just played it until you died. You know, in that sense, yeah, the high scores are all you had to measure, you know, who was best and stuff. But there's a lot more to Sonic or whatever. There's an ending. There's an actual ending, and who cares what the score is, as long as you end up beating the game, really. But this game, this one game, I do remember recording my high scores from. I'd just be curious. I'm going to look up a couple, you know, Let's Plays of this and see how some of the World of Long Plays cheaters have come out with it. This was always an enjoyable boss battle. I think Sega liked it too, because I think they brought it back a few times. Same concept. I always liked this one. I like the satisfying. You could go with Sonic, or when you jump on at the right time, you get a nice satisfying crunch. You get a really satisfying crunch when the mine hits Robotnick. Boom! I really like it when you get the crunch and then he dies at the same time. Strange, the way Robotnick is portrayed, I always kind of liked him. Not in the cartoon series, the one cartoon series, he was like, you know, an intelligent, gullible, you know, the guy that just can never have it. He's like the Coyote in the Roadrunner, okay? Coyote, he's a smart guy. Doesn't matter what he thinks of it, he just can't get what he wants there. He can't get the Roadrunner. But he's an adorable little goof too. That's the way I've always looked at Robotnick. They did have the one cartoon series where he is very as evil as Robotnick could ever get. They had him in that one television series, which that one was not my favorite. I like the fluffier one, where he was more like that. And I believe the game, you know, that's how he's portrayed even in this silent era, you know. They always did. The voice they have for Robotnik, he's a very menacing, you know, deep, you know, I'm the evil of the world. You know, that's how they want to present him, Sega themselves, it seems to be, versus this, you know, gullible, intelligent goofball. Like, that's the way. I want him to be like the Coyote, okay? It would be nice if maybe once in a while he got his victim or something, but I want him to be, you know, that guy. He's smart, but he's not really super evil. He just doesn't know what he's doing, kind of thing. That's how I view Robotnik. And there was some kind of a YouTube series for a little while. I believe it was called Sonic for Hire. I really liked that series in particular because they presented Robotnik in, you know, that way with a voice that presents him as that goofball. He's a goofball, a smart goofball, and you think under certain circumstances, you know, Sonic and Robotnik could be friends. You know, it's just one of those weird things or whatever. That's the way I want to view him. If anybody hasn't seen Sonic for Hire, go ahead and check that out. I think that's how I view Robotnick, and that's how I viewed him from day one. It's pretty much the exact way they portray him in that series, which you don't see very often. This is where you start not enjoying the levels so much. I think that area right there, I'm not sure. I can't remember if you don't have the emeralds by now and you have 50 rings. I don't remember if a ring shows up right there or not. If it does, that would be the last time you have that opportunity. I think it was supposed to, though. I don't think it actually does. I don't know. I remember reading some wiki or something about that area. Something's bugged with the ring, possibly. This is the traditional, Robotnick area as established in this game and would go on for the rest of the series. The very mechanical, industrialized level, which has always been a pain in the ass. Some of them are actually cool and unique. This one is. I don't mind this one. I especially don't mind that the third act is not actually, this level design. It's actually the water act, because oh my god, I don't think I could handle. It's got all the terribleness of a Robotnick level, but it doesn't look like it, which is nice. Other than Sonic 3's launch base zone, that was the last level in that game. This is my favorite. This is my favorite of the Robotnick area levels. Sonic and Knuckles was a pain in the ass, if I remember right. Sonic 2 was a major pain in the ass. This one, really hated Sonic 2. Sonic 2 was the worst. This one is just, of all the music too, this is the worst, I believe. But it's still okay. It's okay music, but I definitely, this level, this is where it gets to that point where everything is just out to get you. And yeah, imagine this. Imagine being Mario in this level. If you think you're so hot in the other ones, now you will, no matter how good you are, you're gonna lose some rings in this one. That's just a hard one. I actually do appreciate the design and everything. It's just the hardness factor of it compared to the rest of the game. It makes it a wear on you. You can get through it, as I will, but it's a wearing issue. But overall, I can't really say I would have it any other way. This is how a Sonic game should end. It should. I do enjoy the Caterkillers. Caterkillers, what a great name. Some of these names, if you read the manual, they came up with some good names. The Caterkiller in particular, which also appeared in Marble Zone. I always like the Caterkiller. It's the name. It's an adorable name. I like caterpillars and stuff, but that's a very unique, always unique enemy designs, even though, they're all very easy, just they're one-hit kills, most of them, so it's not bad, but they're always uniquely designed. Like that thing, what is that thing? It's like a bear that is ripping out his ball sack, and he's just throwing it at you guys, and it's gonna explode after a little while. It's very cool design. Even talking, it's like, I just wish this level just goes on and on, it feels. It's just, and everything's designed to hit you, so again, you're gonna hit the level, you have one damn ring, and oh well, it's fine. That's the pure pain they want to put you through at the end, and that's what I expect of them. I like the little design there. Just suddenly you're in the same level. That's the first time they did that. Like suddenly they go to the right. Cool new music plays. You can't go back. No going back, Sonic. And there's the bastard there. I love the way he's all happy there. It's like, oh, I'll get you anyway. No! Dead. Am I really dead? No, he's not really dead. Yes, he is in ScrapBrain Act 3 / the water level 4. And yes, I know all about going down there, and there's that area there. But the problem with that area is, well, you skip over half of the damn level, and I just wanted to do it how I remembered as a kid. And even to this day, I usually do go down that hidden area there, and that's just the way I like to play it, because this area can be a pain in the ass. Now, I'm not sure if going down that way is faster, or if the way I'm going now is faster. I think the way I'm going now is the long-ass way, and I just for the sake of showing people the way, it would have been done originally, people would have gone these other areas. They wouldn't have figured out that moving bridge thing. So for the sake of that, I decided to go off in some areas I haven't been in a very, very long time. And I love the water effect. The purple water, I guess it's going for like a polluted kind of look, but I actually prefer the look of the purplish water to the water in the water stage there. But this is the thing about this level, is they programmed it to where it never fucking lets out a damn air bubble. You have to wait so much longer, and they are placed very trollishly. So, yeah, you can't rely on going from bubble to bubble to bubble. But if you do see a bubble, you better fucking stay there for a little while, because you're gonna regret it. And here's an area where I'm going up. I don't remember. And I think that's the first area we could have come down. But now I'm like, oh crap. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, hit the post sign just in time. Are we gonna get it? Right before the damn bubble came. First drowning death. One of those damn things. It's so much harder. I guess I should stop at some of these ones, but I'm risking it. I'm gonna going for it anyway. There are certain points in this level where it is way smarter to just go right past the bubbles. Because if you wait for the bubbles, you're actually gonna drown, versus if you just move your ass, you're gonna find an area where there's no water, where you can actually breathe normally. So you gotta be mindful of some of that. Definitely gotta change your strategy as opposed to the other water levels. Some people think this is a cop out or something, that game designers just couldn't think of anything, so they used the level that they already had. They used the design from the water levels. I actually adore it. I'm quite fine that they changed it like this. It's very cool to me, because I could not handle another of that industrial looking stage. It's okay to look at first, but to keep doing it, to keep looking at that for the third act, in that case, I was okay with this change into the water level. I wish I would have been in Sonic 2, actually, because Sonic 2 for 3 acts in that one. The one act with 3 levels. But I don't like the way music cut off there. When the timer executes itself in order to start the countdown there for your eventual drowning death, once you get a breath of air of some sort, either via the bubble or going up where the air is, it will restart the level's music, which I don't like that. There are other areas, where the invincibility shield. You get the invincibility and it starts that tune. The music is gonna start off right where it left off once it's done. And in some cases you could have multiple. You could get the invincibility one and a 1-up at the same time, and it will still start you off exactly where it left off. Not even where it left off, where it should be, I think. It's like it's playing it at the same time, and then it fades back into it. Versus this, drowning death thing, the second you get a breath of air, it starts right from the beginning again. I don't like that. This is the area where you're smarter, just go up. You're smarter to just, forget about this bubble, because this bubble is the worst. I was so lucky. So damn lucky. I don't even know why I forgot. I think I forgot, because that's not normally the way I get to it. I normally get to it from the upper left. But yeah, that area is just normally just jump. Just keep jumping, try to get the air, and there it is. Final zone, everybody! I remember the first time I did this in the pounding music, I actually beat this one, I think, a little bit before my sister did. And I think she beat it right after me, but I was the one that was able to get this far a little bit quicker than she did. And this one kills you a lot, too. I love this. Is of the final boss battles, this is probably my favorite. There's a lot of luck there, there's a lot of difficulty there, there's a lot of everything there. Versus the Sonic 2 one is definitely the hardest. It was a pain in the ass for me for the longest time. Sonic 3 was rather easy, because Sonic 3, unlike Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, they give you rings. Why? You had the tradition of not giving you rings, and suddenly there are rings, and oh my god, the final boss fight, it's ridiculously easy with rings. Some of the later versions of Sonic the Hedgehog Sega released actually featured some rings at the start of this level, because they figured out people suck. But not us! In order to win this game, you should be able to win it without rings. It's great. I loved. It definitely took me a long time, but there. I've actually, if you hit him twice that last time, I've done this. I guess it's a well-known bug now, but I did it as a kid too, several times, at least a handful of times. You know, if you hit him just right, in a certain way, that final blow, you can hit him twice, and if you hit him twice, it resets his hit counter to a ridiculous, like 255 or something. So I've done that several times, and you're like, what? Why? He just blew up, and then he's alive again, and you can't get him no matter what, because you're not gonna hit him another 255 times. Here's the end scene. I love this end scene too. This is the best end scene in any of the original Sonic games. It's a joy, and you actually learn some things. A couple of these little cut scenes I had learned the first time I saw it. Like, I never knew that was there. You see that, and then you try it the next time you play it. I like this end cut scene. It's really just a play. This is really just the previews, really. But, you know, for a credit scene, I really enjoyed it. Sonic 2 had this weird, you know, kind of, they tried to do a tiny bit of a storyline there, but it wasn't that much. I really liked that they showed you things, like jumping off the wall right there. I didn't know it at the time that you could jump off the wall like that, so I tried it a bunch of times the next time I saw it. Hope everybody enjoyed my second full playthrough of the game. Hope you'll check out the review of Sonic the Hedgehog, which should be before this, I imagine, even though I'm recording this before I recorded that. Oh, a whole hour. Over an hour I've been using my voice here. I'm not one to speak this often in real life, so I'm sure it's going to affect me a lot tomorrow, which sucks. But I enjoyed it. I enjoy playing this game. It's the first time I ever tried to comment over it, but I think I'll do the rest of them too. I have all of the classic Sonic games, including the Sonic 3D Blast and Sonic Spinball. I also have the Sonic games for the Master System, so I could play a lot of Sonic games if I want. I know there's a lot of Sonic fanboys out there, but just be sure that won't happen too soon. There's some channels that have made themselves all about Sonic, and to their great downfall, actually, because they lost all their fans once they stopped doing anything else. That's part of the reason why I didn't, do these more famous games at first, because I didn't want to get known. I didn't want anybody, coming there that didn't want to see these eclectic games. So I get some fans of the eclectic games, and then we can do some of the more well-known ones later on. I love seeing Robotnick stomping his feet there at the end. As we see the title one last time. Hope everybody had a good time. See you later. Goodbye.